Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about the Metro Atlanta housing market and how it did last month in December. And then more importantly, we're going to talk about the housing market predictions for 2023. Let's go. As always, if you're thinking about moving to Atlanta or you just want to know what it's like to live here, feel free to call or text me anytime. Thank you so much to everyone who has reached out. I'm always happy to help. Starting off, let's talk about the average sold price compared to the list price. For the last few months now, we've been seeing the average sold price right around 99 to 100% of the list price. What we were seeing earlier in the year, around the end of the spring and summertime, were the sold prices going for about 90 to 95% of the list price. And that was really a time where the sellers didn't realize that the market had shifted. And so sellers were listing their homes really high and not really accounting for how the home values have decreased. But now, especially last month in December, that sellers have realized the decrease in home values, the sold prices are matching up to the list prices. So we're not really seeing a sharp decrease in home values anymore. We're not seeing sold prices for 90% of the list price. In December, again, it was right there around 99 to 100% of the list price. And so really buyers' expectations and sellers' expectations are starting to match up again. And this is what we're starting to see going forward in the housing market in Metro Atlanta. And then average days on market for December was 20 days. Let's compare that to last year, December, where the average days on market was 8 days. That was really a time where the houses were flying off the market in record timing. So 8 days was really not sustainable. There's no way that the housing market could have kept that up. We're really back to a normal amount of time that a house stays on the market. In fact, in 2019, the average days on market for December was 23 days. So 20 days last month is not something new. It's not unprecedented. The housing market is not crashing. We're really just kind of going back to a time in the housing market pre-COVID. Really, we're just going back to normal in the housing market. And that's what we're seeing in many different parts of the housing market, but not all parts. Let's talk about the average sales price. In all of Metro Atlanta, the average sales price dipped down a little bit further to $390. Again, in November, average sales prices were about $396, and in October, they were at about $400. So we're starting to see little by little home prices dipping down each month, not like the middle of the year where home prices were decreasing 15 or even 20,000 each month. We're starting to see, again, kind of a stabilization in the market. Now, that $390 average sales price is for all of Metro Atlanta. If we look only at the city of Atlanta itself and not the surrounding suburbs, the average sales price was about $465. And for the city of Lawrenceville, which is in Gwinnett County, the average sales price was about $365. In the city of Marietta, the average sales price for December was $450, and in Alpharetta, which is in Fulton County, the average sales price was $650. So some really interesting numbers that we're seeing there, and something that really stands out quite a bit is that number there in Alpharetta, only down to $650. Many of the other suburbs around the city of Atlanta have seen a pretty significant decrease in home values month after month, but Alpharetta is still holding in strong there at $650,000 average sales price. When we compare that to the city of Marietta, which is down to $450, it even more emphasizes the amount of bargain or the best value that you can find in the city of Marietta. Keep in mind that Marietta and Alpharetta border each other in many places, so the two cities are very similar, especially East Cobb and Alpharetta. And again, the average sales price in Marietta, $450, and in Alpharetta, it's $650. So unless you really love Alpharetta or find something there in Alpharetta that you absolutely need, maybe your work is in Alpharetta, so you want to live in Alpharetta, in those cases, totally could understand wanting to buy a home in Alpharetta. Alpharetta is really a beautiful and amazing city. But if you're looking for value and if you're looking for the amenities that you can find in Alpharetta but have better home value, Marietta is a great choice. I know I've said that a ton of times on this channel. Obviously, I love Marietta and I think it's a great city. So something to keep in mind if you're thinking about those two cities and you're comparing Alpharetta and Marietta, the home value difference is bigger today than it ever has been before. It's a $200,000 difference. And then interest rates are surprisingly continuing to come down. At the time of filming this video at the end of December, the interest rates were at about 6.3%. This is really amazing to many people. If you look at the middle of October of 2022, interest rates were at about 7.5%, and the Federal Reserve continued to raise the prime interest rates. And many people thought that the interest rates for mortgages would reach as high as 8, 9, maybe even 10%. But in fact, we are not seeing that. Interest rates are going down. They're decreasing now for the last couple months, even though the Federal Reserve continues to raise the prime interest rate. Okay, yeah. But what do I think will happen to the housing market in Metro Atlanta in 2023? So let's talk about that. Here are 5 market predictions for 2023. Starting off with number 5, I think the highest that we're going to see the interest rates this year is going to be 7.5, maybe 8%. And I think we'd see that sometime around the end of the spring, early summer, when there are the most amount of borrowers in the market. But I don't think we're going to reach 10%. I don't think we're going to reach 9%. I think 7.5% is about as high as we're going to see. And then the next market prediction for 2023 is I think that the houses that are move-in ready in 2023 are going to see days on market that average around 7 to 10%. But the houses that are not move-in ready are going to, unfortunately, not do so well. Maybe 20 to 30 days on market in 2023. There's going to be a very big difference this year when it comes to average days on market when the homes are move-in ready versus not move-in ready. In years past, when there was tons of buyers and not enough sellers, it didn't really matter what condition the home was in. All houses were going under contract because there was such a shortage of homes for sale. This year in 2023, we're not going to have that many buyers, and obviously they're going to be more picky about which homes they're choosing. So it's going to be the homes that are move-in ready, that have the most upgrades, that are the most modernized. It's going to be those homes that go off the market in about 1 week. But the homes that are not move-in ready, I think, will last months on the market. And then the next market prediction for 2023 is that I think we're going to see the housing market kind of become stale. It's not going to crash necessarily, but when we had buyers who overpaid by 100,000 in years past and they got interest rates as low as 3.5%, those people are not going to sell anytime soon. The worries that many people have about the housing market crashing, we're not going to see a crash, but we will see the housing market become stale as those people who owe more for their home than it's worth and have great interest rates are going to stay put for a very, very long time. Those people will not have any reason to sell anytime soon. And so I think that's going to really affect the housing market for quite a while, especially in 2023. And then the next prediction that I have for 2023 is that I think we're going to see about 75% of the amount of homes sold in 2023 that we did in 2022 or 2021. This is kind of already happening in October and August, and I think in November as well. And I think in 2023, we're going to see the same, about 75% of the amount of homes sold this year as we did last year. And then the last prediction that I have for Metro Atlanta and the housing market in 2023, maybe kind of a bold one here. I may be kind of going out on a limb, but I'm going to say that Metro Atlanta is going to have the most increase in home value of any city in the United States. Now, obviously, I'm biased since I talk all about the city of Atlanta, but I think this is kind of believed by many economists, including the National Association of Realtors, are saying that the city of Atlanta is one of the fastest growing cities in all of the US, and this may lead to Atlanta having the most increase in home value. We have many people coming to the city of Atlanta looking for lower costs of living. We have many businesses coming to the city of Atlanta looking for the tax incentives. And this kind of growth has really not been seen in Atlanta since the mid 90s during the Olympic Games. That was really a big growth period for the city of Atlanta. And I think we're going to see that again in 2023. So if you're thinking about moving to Atlanta and you want to know more about what it's like to live here, click on this video. I'll see you there.